You see, I feel highly entertained by Tinubu's rhetorics, the way he's dramatizing his own role, in Nigerian democracy. Luckily, we're all alive. He's gone. Luckily, we're all alive. We're all there. We're all, participant in that particular, sphere of political activity. So I was in the midst of it. Tinubu became relevant and noticeable after Abacha took over government. Before then, he was in the Senate, was the secretary of the party. And with all respect to him, you see, he was part of those people who were supporting Babangida's annulment of June 12th. He was part of it.
This exclusive interview by Sule Lamido, the former governor of Jigawa State, that we just watched right now, has gone further to confirm what Kola Abiola, the eldest son of MK Abiola, said in one of the interviews he granted years ago. About 26 years after the annulment of historic June 12, 1993 presidential election, Kola Abiola reveals some details that surrounded his father's political struggles, the betrayers and key players during Nigeria's military regime. In that exclusive interview with his son in Lagos State, Kola disclosed that Bola Ahmed Tinubu once sought a political appointment under the regime of the late military dictator General Sani Abacha following the annulment of the election. According to Kola Abiola, Tinubu had approached the Abacha administration with aspirations of becoming the civilian administrator of Lagos State. When Abacha made it clear to him that only military administrators would be appointed and not civilians, Tinubu requested to be considered as a deputy administrator. Abacha also declined that request, maintaining that he wanted only military men in those positions. Tinubu then expressed interest in commissioner role, but the position eventually went to a candidate closely associated to the late Alhaji Lateef Jakande. So by all means, Tinubu wanted a position in Abacha's regime, even if it was a commissioner. But Abacha declined all his requests, maybe because he already knew the kind of person Tinubu really is. A power-drunk human being that could do anything and go extra mile in order to maintain or attain a certain position in politics. But unfortunately to Tinubu, he lost out in all his requests. And according to Kola Abiola, he stated that once those things happened, that Tinubu immediately aligned himself with the Nadeko movement. So I guess we all can now see that Tinubu is an accidental lover of democracy, that originally he had wanted everything military. Because if not, why didn't he join Nadeko movement in the first place? Why wait until after he was rejected by Abacha administration that he now decided to join the movement? So he was never originally a member of Nadeko and wouldn't have been if Abacha had granted his numerous requests. So that automatically made him an accidental lover of democracy. But being a very revengeful human being, Tinubu joined Nadeko just to get Abacha out of the way by all means, so he could have his own way too. And this has also gone a long way in explaining his reasons for appointing a military sole administrator in Rivers State just because of a minor political saga in the state. History has over the time proven that Tinubu is never a lover of democracy, and that's why we are where we are today. Before each and every one of us, before our very own eyes, our democracy is being mutilated and bastardized. And all this are happening because Tinubu is an emergency lover of democracy, and not that he really wants it. Kola Abiola has also clarified that although Tinubu was close to his father, that it was Adeniyi Adele who showed deeper loyalty and dedication to his father, MKO Abiola's presidential bid, that Adeniyi was more committed to the Nadeko cause than any of them, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu became a Nadeko member after losing out in all positions in Abacha's regime. So we all can now see the truth, and why Tinubu is a mistake that never should have happened to our democracy. Yes, Muhammad Buhari was a huge mistake, but Tinubu is even a worse mistake that has happened to our democracy. He learned from Abacha, but now was an Abacha in terms of dictatorial style of leadership. And with him as the president of this country, it can only get worse. So guys, let's all fasten our seatbelts, for the journey ahead is way too far. Meanwhile, kindly like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, share and put on your notification bell to always be among the first to get notified with our latest updates on what is happening in our country and beyond. Don't forget to leave your own thoughts on this matter in the comment section below. See you in my next video, and thanks for watching.
You see, I feel highly entertained by Tinubu's rhetorics, the way he's dramatizing his own role, in Nigerian democracy. Luckily, We're all alive. He's gone. Luckily, we're all alive. We're all there. We're all, participant in that particular, sphere of political activity. So I was in the middle of it. Tinubu became relevant and noticeable after Abacha took over government. Before then, he was in the Senate, was the secretary of the party. And with all respect to him, you see, he was part of those people who were supporting Babangida's annulment of June 12. He was part of it. His own mother, Haja Mogaji from Lagos, was organizing Lagos marching women to come to Abuja to pledge, support for Babangida. I'm saying this because it's simply history. I mean no harm. Don't mean to embarrass him. But then you see, he was actively handing gloves to Babangida. Now, when Babangida saw the fact that he was having a problem with the party, he went to the National Assembly to address them. One infamous speech was, they are trying to incite you. It is you they are against. Tinubu was there, and IU became very, very firm and straight on the issue of June 12. He called a meeting, then being the only senior elected person in government at that time, as Senate President. He convened a meeting in Edo, in Benin, working there with the governor, where we went there and reaffirmed our commitment to June 12. All right? Babangida was so angry with IU. When he came by, he removed him and put in a better arrow. He put him there so that, so that they can be aligned to Babangida, political kind of machinations. So when Tinubu today, after being a general president, decided to rewrite history, trying to maybe deconstruct history and then rewrite it, then it is very, very amusing because he was part of the Babangida support of June 12. He was part of it. Now, it was only when Abacha took over government that Tinubu then became our so-called activist of June 12. Not only all those who are talking about June 12 in Nedeko, I mean no harm, I mean no disrespect. I'm simply saying what happened during that time. All of them, those people in Nedeko, where were they on June 11? They had no part in June 12. They are not part of June 12 campaign. They are not part of the June 12 activities. What they are never, because most of them are saying they should down look. All of them. Because they know ability that won't work out. So when Abiola won the election, and then after the annulment, they are all very, very passive. But suddenly, after Abacha came on board, removing Sonekam, they became activists. They formed Nedeko. Nedeko was opposed to election formation. Nedeko was something which was formed, to fight Abacha, not to fight democracy, not to fight for June 12. So whatever Tinubu is doing today is simply reconstructing history the way he thinks it's going to fit his own political interests. But then obviously he was a major supporter of Babangida. Ask Babangida, ask him. So when you talk about, honoring June 12, what are those characters? Ebute Ere, somebody who replaced Ayu for June 12? Who are the others? All of them. So he ran away. We stayed behind. We fought Abacha. I was detained, because of my fight with Abacha. I was detained. He was detained. So all of us, Adamu Churuma, Bola Ege, Yoche Ayu, Kweme, and many others, Bagaji, all of them were there. We fought Abacha. We fought him because we were willing to risk our lives. Tinubu ran away. He was not in the country. He only came back after the whole thing was, after the call was very, very clear. So what I'm saying is, all those advocates of June 12, they are more concerned with the bath water rather than the baby. They are more concerned because most of them were at the end of the meal. When the product was being processed, they simply picked up the product. The process which produced the product, they are not there. They're not part of it. They only pick the product. And today it's not about the victor, but it's about the victory more than anything else. So we make this kind of distinction. There is a difference between the victory and the victor. The Nedeko were more concerned with the victory than the victor. As far as they are concerned, in the bathwater they are trying to use, they are trying to hang on to their own kind of riding on top to reinvent, history in Nigeria. Otherwise, I feel embarrassed for the president, for the way he's talking, honestly. Ask anybody. Go ask anybody. We're all there. Ask Ayu, ask Jerigana. They are all there. Ask Rangiwa. So, what is happening today in Nigeria is simply something very, very laughable. People, who had no political pedigree, who had no political history, who are not known as freedom fighters, are now at the forefront fighting for Nigerian democracy. It's so laughable.